Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. I've been super excited for this conversation. I'm thrilled to be joined by Matt Ostanik, who launched the Grateful app, which we are going to talk all about prior to starting Grateful, which we're going to, again, share more about. Matt also founded CVG, a consulting company that helps design firms grow their business, as well as several other entities. And Grateful, I am super excited by this concept. Grateful giving, super important this time of year. Matt Ostanik, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about how a guy that has grown a business that went public, ultimately went public on the New York Stock Exchange, but now you're focusing essentially on social good. What's your story, Matt?
Yeah, my background is as an entrepreneur. I actually went to school many years ago thinking I would be an architect. I love designing things and creating things, but I found I'm equally good at technology and building businesses. And I've started several traditional businesses. You mentioned a little bit about a couple of them there. One of them was acquired by a company that went public, which was an awesome experience. But a couple of years ago, I was reflecting more on what I wanted to do next. And we live in such challenging times. There's so many societal problems that you read about on the news every night, that you hear about, that you see with your own eyes. I really wanted to find a way to use technology and to work with other socially good businesses and entrepreneurs to try and address some of the deepest problems of our time. That's what led me to create Grateful. And Grateful is ultimately a platform that socially good businesses use to give to their customers' favorite charities and ultimately to support great charities that are on the front lines of trying to solve some of these most pressing problems today.
And those things are helping to increase customer attention and employee engagement, which is something that everybody wants to do. So let's talk a little bit about how businesses can and why they should use social good for their customer appreciation and loyalty.
Yeah, awesome. And it's very exciting because, again, we live in a challenging time. There's big challenges, but there's such a great role that socially good businesses can play in this. And there's so many businesses that are already generous and already give and already do things. What we do with Grateful is we help businesses set up customer giving programs where they offer to donate to each of their customers' favorite charities. So an example of this is a gym that we work with where they're donating 1% of their sales, 1% of their member fees. And when each of their members pay their membership, whether they pay monthly or annually, then they automatically donate 1%, but they also send an invitation, Grateful does, to that member, to that customer saying, hey, here's a quick link to pick the charities that you want to send these dollars to. And what's really interesting with that is their members can go in, they can pick any charity out of a database of over 1.5 million US 501c3 charities to give to. Not every single member does that. Not every single person cares about giving, although many people do. But what's really fascinating is the ones that do go in and pick and choose to give or pick something to give to, we can see in their data, they actually end up spending an average of 17% more with that business over the course of the year as well. So they're doing good by supporting hundreds of great charities, but they're also growing their business and paying for all the costs of that while they're doing it as well.
Sounds like a win-win if I've ever heard of one. So again, I'm chatting with Matt Ostanik, the founder of Grateful, which is incredible. And again, it's really all about social good, which is good for business, good for customers, good for employees. Again, good win-win. So why do you believe, I know your premise behind a lot of things that you do is that social good is the new currency. What do you mean by that, and why? Where do you see as the future in this space?
Yeah, absolutely. We live in such a challenging time. I think social good is top of mind for so many folks. Again, if you read the news, you see with your own eyes what's happening in our cities, in our country, and the world at large. There's so many challenges, from hunger to crime to education to other things. Companies that stand up and participate in helping to address those problems, they don't just benefit the world, they benefit themselves, and they build a deeper connection between their brands and their services and the customers that they're serving. And of course, there's a generational aspect of this. People in every generation care about giving, but particularly in today's world with younger generations, there's a particular emphasis on doing business with and working for companies that care about these types of things. I believe in the times ahead, over the next few years and beyond, social good is going to be one of the biggest differentiators for great businesses. It's a new way to compete, but it's also a new way to stand out and be successful in the world that we live in today.
That's for sure. Matt, I'm personally inspired by this as a consumer, but I know that many business owners that are tuning in are probably nodding their heads vigorously and wondering how can they get in on this trend. So Matt, we don't have a lot of time, but I want to make sure you can share how both companies can get involved and how customers can perhaps encourage this concept of social good using the app of Grateful. Can you give us your contact information and tell us how we can get involved?
Absolutely. Our website is begrateful.org, begrateful.org. Would love to have you check us out and learn more there. There's a lot of great additional information. There also is a contact form for reaching out and connecting, and would love to talk to any company or others that are interested in learning more about this.
begrateful.org. So Matt, in our 30 seconds remaining, what's your New Year's resolution? What's your goal for the Grateful app?
Well, to make more of an impact, to continue to grow the impact that we're making. I haven't actually written out my New Year's resolutions yet, but that's a great question. But certainly to grow the impact that we're making next year and continue to connect with more and more great businesses and great nonprofits and charities that are doing amazing work as well.
Well, I have no doubt that you're going to do it, and that just gives us an excuse to bring you back on in 2023 to check in on that impact, which I'm sure is going to grow. Again, the impact in the nonprofit world, the impact for businesses, the impact for employees and for consumers all around. begrateful.org, begrateful.org. We'll link through our website and our show notes as well. Matt Ostanik, thank you so much for joining us and Get Down to Business. Keep up the amazing work, and I look forward to having you back on real soon. We've got to squeeze in a very quick break here on the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. We'll be right back, so don't touch that dial.